Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Watch. I am Wukong. Today from the highest mountain of Germany, Zugspitze, with the very first watch review on this channel, which is going to be about the Tudor Black Bay 36. Okay, the first thing we'll do is we'll take a closer look at the watch, and after that I'll talk a little bit about it, about my first impressions of the watch and how I feel after wearing it for 1 month. So basically like a 1 month review of the watch, 1 month experience. So with no further ado, let's switch perspectives.
So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the close-up review and unboxing of the Tudor Black Bay 36. So that's the box you get it with. It's a solid box. It has like a wooden optics here. It's a Tudor shield on top of the box. Then let's open it up. Inside we have, of course, here we have the Tudor shield again with the logo saying Tudor. The box is very nice. It is my first luxury watch actually, so I'm very happy with it, and I'm very impressed with the box because I've never had a Rolex Omega box or Oris. I've just had Hamilton and Steinhardt and Seiko, so this is like my first proper luxury watch and my first proper luxury watch box, so to say. So here we have the watch. Underneath we have, let's put the watch aside for now. Underneath we have a bunch of cards, guarantee card, international guarantee card. Let me just check what's in the back. Okay, that's not too much. It's the serial number, the date of purchase, which was the 1st December for me, 1st 12, 2020. Looks like that, and that's the Vamper guarantee, card, because I bought it at Vamper. I'm not going to show the back side of this one because it has my name on it and the name of my dealer, of my watch dealer. That's it. Okay, so yeah, put that aside. This cool band is for, we can just put it back exactly before we put that aside. Just put it back in here. This band is for picking up the cards easier. Then we have a little pocket in here which has the tag. I put the tag in here. Tudor again. Yeah, this tag. Here I have one link which was removed from my Tudor because I have skinny wrists, and so here we go. This is the one link which was removed. So put that back in there like this. So yeah, that's the box. Now let's put the box aside. Oh no, let's actually put the watch on the box. Okay, now to the watch. So this is not a brand new watch. This is already like used a bit, but I didn't, wear it every day, so it's quite pristine still. It's in a very good condition still. So here we go. This is the Tudor Black Bay 36. I forgot to talk about the pillow. The pillow is very nice as well. It's very soft, and it changes its form depending on how long the bracelet is, and this is very nice. Let me just undo the bracelet here. Here we go. Yeah, so as the name suggests, the case size is 36 millimeters. The thickness of the watch is 10.5 millimeters. The movement in the watch is the ETA 2824 I bought the blue dial instead of the black dial because I think the blue dial is just a little more unique than the black dial. It has a little more uniqueness. So it's not a sunray blue dial, it's a matte finished blue dial, which in my opinion is way more fitting than if it were a sunray dial. Okay, so one cool thing as well is that the color of the dial kind of changes depending on the light. So if I turn the light off right here, oh, here you see the lume already, it looks black almost. So the dial looks pretty much black. You see I have still a little bit of natural light. If I put it in the natural light, you see, I love when the seconds, minutes and hour hands reflect the light when it's gloomy, and the watch does that very good. So basically, as you here in such light conditions, it looks almost black, but when I turn the light back on again, of course, it turns to blue. As you can see, we have at the 12 o'clock we have the Tudor shield, and it says Tudor Genève. At the 6 o'clock we have the Swiss made stamp and the rotor self-winding. It has a screw down crown, ensuring the water resistance. The water resistance here is 150 meters, so it should be very well off when swimming. I am planning to test it out during my free diving. I do free diving, so I'm planning to test the watch when free diving. I normally free dive with a Steinhardt. It's a dive watch, but you know, since I have this and it has a water resistance of 150 meters, you know, why not try this out? It should work fine. So yeah, the lume, you just saw the lume. We can I can show you the lume again. It's a super luminova. It's very bright. You see, super legible. At night I had no problems. Sometimes, you know, when I wake up like at 6 a.m. in the morning, right now as it's winter, it's dark at 6 a.m. I look at the watch and lume is still good. You know, I can still read the time easy. So no problems here. So yeah, here you can see the lume. Very legible, very legible. The watch in general is very legible. I've had no problems reading the time. You know, you can just have a quick little glance at the watch and then you just immediately know the time. Now, despite the case size of 36 millimeters, it still wears a little bit bigger than that. It wears more like a 38 millimeter watch. I can show you a wrist shot here. Let me just put the watch on. I have quite skinny wrists, so the watch fits me perfectly. You know, 36 to 38 millimeters is like my sweet spot. Those watches fit me the best. So here you can see, fits me very good. So the movement, as I just told you, the movement was an ETA movement. Let's unscrew the crown here. You know, typical for Tudor and Rolex, and if you unscrew it, it pops out. You have to wind it up a little bit so it pops out a little more, and now we can wind the watch. I hope you can hear that. Let me just, it's super smooth. I have, as I told you before, I have a Steinhardt. It has a ETA movement as well, and I'm telling you, the winding here is way smoother than on the Steinhardt. Yeah, then pop it out one more time. Watch hex, you can set the time. Let's put like that, so the minute and hour hand isn't in the way of anything. Then finish setting the time, just pop it in once. Second hand starts going, and then with a little bit of downward pressure you can screw the crown in again. Voila, finished. So yeah, what was I talking about? With movement, right? So this is the ETA movement, ETA 2824, but it's modified by Tudor, as far as I know, by Tudor. So it's basically a top grade ETA movement, and for me it was very accurate. I'll talk about the accuracy a little later, but for me it was very accurate, and I know some people complain about that at the price point of around, you know, 2,500 euros or like around $3,000. It's not in-house. I mean, for me, it's just as long as the movement keeps good time, I don't really mind what's in the watch. It ticks with 28,800 beats per hour, so it's a very smooth sweep on the second hand. Now to the case back. The case back is similar to Rolex. So you just see the Geneva, Swiss and Tudor, and the Tudor shield again. Okay, come on, will you focus? Focus. It doesn't focus. Here we go. Here, Geneva, Swiss, Tudor. And here is the serial number. Exactly. Now what I know that people were complaining about this little black crown stem. It didn't bother me when I saw it in pictures. Now that I have it in person, I don't even see it at all. If that's something what concerns you, I can reassure you. Don't worry about that. It's not that big of a deal. Now the bracelet and the clasp. The bracelet is superb. Tudor is known for their top quality bracelets and clasp. They punch way above their league. It's comparable with the Rolex bracelet. I've handled Rolexes at the Rolex dealer and at Vampe, and I've compared the Black Bay to the Oyster Perpetual 36mm, and I'm telling you, they weigh pretty much the same, as the watches weigh pretty much the same, and their bracelets are like of an identical quality. They're not the same, of course, but they're like the same quality. Like you could feel it. So here the clasp, typical folding mechanism, has Tudor laser print in here, steel inox print in here. Here we have the typical Tudor shield again. What's interesting too is that they have like this ceramic ball point. I don't know what's in English. It's such a difficult word. It has ceramic ball points in here, or ball joints. I don't know what's it called. But those little, come on, focus again. Okay, those little ball points are ceramic, which means that this won't deteriorate at all. This is going to take a long time to deteriorate. The clasp has 3 micro adjust options. I would have wished for more, but what can we do? Tudor wanted to do 3, so we have 3. Here you can see them 3. It would have been cooler, of course, if we had like a glide lock mechanism, but they didn't want to do it here. So now we have just the 3 adjustments. The lug width of the bracelet is 19mm, and it tapers down to 16mm. Massive solid end links, nothing to complain here about. Now the watch is a fingerprint magnet. Side profile, pretty much everything polished. Then on top is pretty much everything brushed, except for the bezel here. This is polished as well. And here you can see me. That's me actually. Here's my phone. Yep, there we go. And of course the crown side is polished too. Yeah, the crown has a different logo, which is interesting because as we had that before, the Tudor shield. The Tudor shield is on the front, but on the crown we have the Tudor rose. Now, when we look at the watch in general, at the watch dial and the case construction, we notice, of course, the similarity to the Rolex Explorer. And for many people, it is like an substitute buy for the Rolex Explorer. So, this costs around 2,500 euros, 2,600. The Rolex Explorer costs 6,000, new from the AD. It lies, I would say, in the same family as the Rolex Explorer. It's like an everyday watch, EDC watch. It's made for every occasion. It's tough and it's elegant at the same time, and that's what drew this watch. That's what drew me to this watch. I've compared this Tudor to another Rolex, and the Tudor quality is really on point. You can't beat Tudor at this price level. I have my Hamilton right here. The Hamilton is a 38mm watch. That's a 36mm watch. As you can see, the Tudor is a smidgen smaller, but when wearing both watches, the Tudor sits almost identically as the Hamilton. And I have here my Steinhardt. This is the Steinhardt Ocean Titanium 500. So here we have the Tudor and the Steinhardt in comparison. The Steinhardt is 42mm, Tudor again 36. You can see the Steinhardt is comparably, of course, larger than the Tudor, but the Tudor isn't tiny. It is not small. It really has, it stands for itself. And to be honest, the Tudor weighs more because the Steinhardt is a titanium watch. It's quite light, and the Tudor weighs more than the Steinhardt actually. Now, the 1 month experience with this watch. I've had this watch for now a little bit over a month, 1.5 months around that time. It's January 17th. So what can I say about this watch after owning it for 1.5 months? I'm very happy with the purchase. It's my very first luxury watch, but I have handled other watches before. You know, when I'm at the AD, I always ask for other watches. So it's not the first time I've had a luxury watch in my hands, but it's the first one I own basically. It's been the only watch I've been wearing since buying it. Maybe when I go work out I wear another watch, but you know what I mean. It's pretty much the main watch I've been wearing since buying it. It's very comfortable on wrist. It doesn't pull any hairs. It sits a little off because it has a link less on this side because my wrist is a little too small, so they had to adjust it. But this doesn't really, you know, it doesn't affect me. It's not visible. So no, I guess I'm sure it's like with every new watch which someone gets, I catch myself looking at it and then not knowing the time after that, because, you know, checking for the time, but you just look at the watch and then you have to look again basically. But I think that's with like almost every new watch. So what can I say about people noticing the watch? You know, it's kind of a watch which flies under the radar. Friends and like good co-workers have noticed it and they did compliment it, but like, you know, people I don't know that well in work or my friends, they didn't really notice that. So it's kind of a watch which flies under the radar. It's not a Rolex, it's not like a flashy watch. Now about these scratches, because as I told you, it's polished on the sides and on the bezel. I did accumulate a few hairline scratches so far, but they're not really visible. So, you know, when I'm under the light and I'm polishing it with a cloth, I see them, but like right now in broad daylight I don't really see anything. So that shouldn't be a problem. And on the clasp it does accumulate, maybe you can see it. It does accumulate a few scratches right here and right here, see it. So those are unavoidable. I guess those are just usage scratches, which you can't really avoid. For me, my watch keeps crazy good time, you know. I guess it's like around -4 seconds a week. So this is very good at timekeeping. The most accurate mechanical watch I own. The legibility of the watch is very good. I don't know about the anti-reflective coating, if it has on both sides or if it doesn't have any, because for me it's very legible. I always see the time immediately. You can just glance at it and you can read the time. And the lume is very good as well, as you've seen. The lume, I can wake up in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m. and I can look at the watch and know the time. So very, very legible watch. Then now the one complaint I have about the watch is that it collects fingerprints quite easily because, as I said, the sides are polished, bezel is polished, so it collects fingerprints and like dust and dirt quite easy, which is, you know, a bummer, but what can you do about it? Not really, can't really do anything about it. I mean, I like the design. I like that it's polished, so
shouldn't be complaining about fingerprints then. So far, I haven't taken the watch swimming, but I'm planning to do so. You know, I do free dive, so I'm planning to take it. It has a water resistance of 150 meters, so it should be able to take it. So I'll try this one out in water. I'll probably do an update in summer as well. Yeah, the watch basically looks like a like a mix of an Rolex Submariner and a Tudor Black Bay 58, or a Black Bay line Tudor. But you know, there have been many comparisons out on YouTube now which compare this Black Bay 36 with the Rolex Explorer. In my opinion, this is way more. Die Romy hat gerade am Stativ gelenkt, gell? Yes. So in my opinion, the Black Bay is way more watch for your money. Both watches, both Rolex and the Tudor, fly under the radar, so you know, even though if you have the Rolex, even though it's a Rolex, not everybody will notice it as such. In general, you know, the Rolex Explorer has been a grail watch of mine, but since I have had this, I'm really, you know, I'm considering not buying the Rolex Explorer anymore and maybe opting for another watch which is built in a different style. So maybe like not the classical Rolex Explorer 1, but maybe the Rolex Explorer 2 polar dial, something like that. Because this is the blue dial one, so Rolex Explorer would be the black dial one. But I think blue and black are pretty similar. In general, I'm very happy with the purchase, and the good thing about Tudor is they keep value pretty good. You know, not as good as Rolex, of course, but they're pretty similar to, you know, Omega territory. I could sell the watch in a few years and get pretty much like 75% of my money back. Very happy with the purchase. I'm going to keep wear it. Let's see if it stays my main watch, if I ever will put another watch. I'm sure I will, so spoiler. I'll do a review maybe in summer again, you know, when I've been wearing it like in water, how it performs like in the heat and in moist environment. Right now I'm in snowy Bavaria. Watch performs good. Yeah, that was it. Have a nice day. See you next time.